Aloha, I'm Sherry Miller and I've been teaching natural farming and Korean natural farming KNF for 14 years. In this series I'm taking on challenges. Sometimes I pull it off, other times I don't. I'm making mistakes so you don't have to. In this episode, I'm trying to make LAB lactic acid bacteria using coconut milk. Does it work? Stay tuned to the end to find out. I did side-to-side experiment using cow's milk and coconut milk. I used the same rice wash water to inoculate and I covered them with a cloth side by side. Here's a quick tutorial to the process if you don't know how. If you do, skip forward 1 minute 47. This is a quick tutorial on how to make LAB, Lactic Acid Bacterial Serum. The first step is to ferment rice wash water. You take some rice and you wash it and you collect the washing water. You're going to put this in a jar and ferment it. Be sure to leave 1/3 airspace in the jar and then cover it with a breathable lid. You're going to let this ferment at room temperature away from light until you have a sediment at the top and the bottom, and you're going to have a nice smell. It takes about 3 days, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. Remove all the sediment and save the serum. You're only going to use the clear serum. You have just collected wild lactic acid bacteria. Now we're going to ferment that in milk. You're going to mix the rice wash water with milk using 1 part rice wash water and 10 parts milk. Any kind of milk. Be sure to leave 1/3 airspace in the jar and cover it with a breathable lid. And you're going to let that ferment again away from light at room temperatures until it smells good and you've got a good separation of the curds and the whey. Remove from the jar separately. There are many ways to do this. As a bonus, you get farmer's cheese. You can eat it like it is, process it into a more advanced type of cheese, or feed it to your animals. The whey becomes your lactic acid bacterial serum that you can use on your plants and your animals. Here they are finished. The cow's milk on the right, you can see, has more curd, and the curd has bubbles in it. On the left is the coconut milk. There's less curd and it looks kind of smooth. The cow's milk was easy to separate the curd from the whey. Lifted out what I could and poured the rest through a filter. With the coconut milk, I couldn't lift anything out. It wasn't solid enough. So I tried to pour it through the filter. And it all went through the filter and liquefied. It also didn't quite smell right. With the cow's milk, it smells kind of like yogurt. Sharp, sour, but not rotten. And the coconut milk just smelled like sour coconuts. I don't know what it's supposed to smell like. I've never made LAB with coconut milk before, so we'll give a pass on the smell. But it didn't filter. In other words, it didn't work. What's the science behind this? LAB is lactic acid bacteria. It's a bacteria that feeds, designated by its name, on lactose, which is the main sugar in milk. If you're doing microbiology and you want to grow a culture, you grow the culture on something you know that your organism will eat. If you want lactic acid bacteria, which eat lactose, milk sugar, you want to use a milk product to feed them. There's no lactose in coconut milk. It's good stuff, but no lactose. While there may be some lactic acid bacteria in the coconut product, because lactic acid bacteria are omnipresent, they're in the air, they're on surfaces, they're everywhere, you didn't feed them lactose, so they couldn't grow a culture like they could with the milk. That's why you want to use animal milk to make LAB, because they have lactose to feed the lactic acid bacteria. Now you know. Have fun with your LAB projects, and I'll see you next time. Peace.